Ladies and gentlemen, we have been working all day and now it's after work. I'm Joe. Welcome back to another episode of That Nintendo Show. We're a day later. Yesterday, I definitely was not up to par to being able to talk as long as I normally do on these shows because I had my wisdom teeth pulled out. I've got several stitches on the bottom, my two bottom sides. So it's like today, feeling a lot better, being able to talk a little bit more and in longer duration, so I feel pretty good we can make it through this show and be perfectly fine. I'll probably slip up with my words, that's nothing new, but more so than usual with these things in my mouth, so man, it's gonna be fun. We're gonna have a fun time, guys. We have a lot to talk about in Nintendo Direct. That's probably gonna be the main part of this show. We're gonna talk some minor things, and then we'll do our normal eShop drop and everything. But for those of you who don't know what That Nintendo Show is, it is your weekend review news show here live on twitch.tv/JoAfterWork. Normally on Fridays around 7:30 Eastern time, and then it goes next day over to YouTube as a full episode. And also in audio format on SoundCloud and iTunes as well. So that all happens on Saturday, but the Fridays is normally when our streams normally happen. So you guys are probably getting this on a Sunday and like, where's my podcast? Said no one who listens to audio format of the show. Well, that's besides the point. Let's go down the pipeline and let's get into this Nintendo Direct. And before we do, let's just... I forgot to jump into the chat. Sorry, guys. I'm still a little fuzzy from everything going on. Yay! Draco, what's going on? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, man. Goldheart, what's going on? Sorry, I choked up a little bit. I'm happy you guys are here on a Saturday. Let's do this. And for those of you who did miss, I just posted up an unboxing video over on YouTube channel. Feel free to go check that out whenever you guys have a moment. It is of the it's a bunch of Samus Metroid Return stuff. So the 3DS XL unboxing, the special edition of the game, and a couple of amiibos. Spoiler alert: there's a Metroid in one of them. Just saying, and they're awesome looking. But I'm gonna have this playing a little bit in the background here. I'm gonna skip around, but mostly I'm just here to have this. This Nintendo thing here. I'll occasionally probably jump around. Boom, there we go. So first thing up, we're gonna break down this Nintendo Direct. We're gonna speed through some of this stuff because some of the games I'm like, all right, cool, I get it, I dig it. Let's move on. But first up, they opened up Yoshiaki Koizumi, who's like been around with Nintendo since '91. He's worked on so many games, even one of my childhood favorite games, Link's Awakening. He wrote the script for that and did some of the boss designs for that game. I was like, oh, I never knew this. You own most of my childhood there, dude. He's producer of Mario Odyssey, and he's sort of been more the face on these Nintendo Directs, and I'm enjoying it. I'm really liking it. Bring me more Koizumi. We opened up with some Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon news. They gave us in 4 parts things that we can expect in the game. Necrozma apparently is stealing the light. That's, I guess, sort of what he does. And he's one of the legendary Pokemons, one of the, the last Ultra Beasts that you capture in the endgame content of Pokemon Sun and Moon. Apparently he's going to play a bigger part in the Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon story, and he is going to have these Dawn and Dusk forms in the form of, I guess, consuming Solgaleo and Lunala, depending on what version of the game you're picking up. Second part is you got some new areas, new clothes, and apparently you're going to have a new way that you're encountering your first Pokemon in this game. So it may not be the typical, hey, pick this Pokemon and then, go on with your adventure, which I think that's cool. I think that's a nice little change for a Pokemon game. It's not something I would have expected, but hey, I'm open to change. Especially with a lot of the stuff that they did in Sun and Moon. Was really I dug it. I miss my gyms. I'm not gonna lie. I miss my gyms and I miss my badges, but I like the ambition, and I feel like they were successful in what they had done with Sun and Moon. After that, we've got if you buy the game before January 10th, you can get a special Rockruff that's going to evolve into a Lycanroc, a dusk formed Lycanroc, and I believe that it's going to be during certain times of every day. I didn't hear the specific times on there, but it'll evolve into this form after level 25 during a specific set time of every day. And what's cool is, yes, before January 21st. Now, I feel like Pokemon has always done this with certain titles, where like if they have a Pokemon coming out, you don't have to pre-order the game. You have like a certain amount of time before it's not available anymore, and I think that's pretty cool. Like, I wish certain companies could take from that, like, hey, you know, here's you don't have to necessarily pre-order to get this perk, but you have up until this time to get this specific perk, and then, you know, maybe they'll add it as a charge on after the fact, you know, since they'll have like a time frame afterwards. But I get it, that's how they make their sales and everything. I just think it's a cool gesture if you're going to add these other things into there. Digital download pre-orders and I guess purchases will give you 12 quick balls right off the bat. That's pretty dope. And also, there's 2 introductions to new Ultra Beasts. They haven't announced that there's any more. I know that there's been other leaks, courtesy of Draco. Thank you. I don't know if any of these leaks were some of the stuff that I'm mentioning here, but Ultra Beast Burst and Ultra Beast Assembly, one of them looks like a Jolly Rancher, and I've already seen memes on the internet that show they show Ed, and Eddie, like one of the Eds, actually licking the Jawbreaker Pokemon. I think it's UB Assembly. I could be wrong. I think it's probably the most hysterical thing. I'll play some of the footage here while I have it on the background here, so that way you got something on the side. But those are some of the new areas in the game that you can go to. And then the last thing was the Pokeball Edition new 2DS XL coming out November 3rd, so a couple weeks before the game actually releases on the 17th, which it's another special edition. I think the Pikachu one that the Japan Direct got, it was actually a heck of a lot better, and there's your Lycanroc there for those of you watching live or watching it on YouTube playback. Sorry, audio folks. And then you have Pokemon Golden Sun coming out September 22nd. That's like in another week, right? That's next week. I think that's next Friday. What? Next Thursday, I think? I can't even count days anymore. And if you buy the game, you'll get a Celebi that you can transfer over to Pokemon Sun and Moon or Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon when that game comes out. That's pretty awesome. Although if you already have Celebi already after like the million times that they've given it out, hey, you got another one. I think even when Pokebank first came out, you got a Celebi if you purchased the subscription after, you know, before a certain date. Pokemon Golden Sun. Did I say Golden Sun? I think I said Gold and Silver. I probably meant to say. Wah wah wah. Thanks for the typo there. I'm just checking in with the chat before we jump into some of the other games. Now we're gonna do like a quick list of some of the other things. Where's Barry? What's going on? Amiibos, Werewolf Rocks. Oh man. L1 Metal Gaming. What is the meaning of this? Athena. Audio is good. Nice, nice. That chill Pikachu. All right. So moving on, like we're gonna go right here with this. And again, I'll let this play on the side. I'm gonna skip around a bit. Well, not skip around, but I'm going to fast forward through some of these. But Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga and Bowser Minions. Seems like it's going to be 2 games in one. Bowser Minions is sort of going to be like the behind-the-scenes story of what's going on in the Mario and Luigi Super Saga, where you're going to be able to play the Koopas and the Goombas. And the Koopa and Goomba amiibos will have functionality in the game. And it seems like they've added some things from the DS version of the Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, which I think is pretty cool. And I like that they have the amiibo support as well. They have a date for the for those amiibos, which I believe should be around the same time to release the game, October 6th. And I may have the, yeah, available October 6th. There we go. I may have those pre-ordered already. I thought that for some reason they were part of the Mario Odyssey set, but I like how they look, so I'll keep my pre-orders. Kirby Battle Royale, which is what you're seeing here. It's got a side campaign, a campaign, and then it's got like multiplayer battle online and whatnot. It's another Kirby game. What more can you expect? Yokai Watch 2 Psychic Specters is coming out also. And they have like if you pre-order it, you get this Oni Evolution DLC, or if you have the if you had the previous Yokai Watch game, because 2 Psychic Specters is going to be like the Pokemon Crystal version where they meld everything together into one, so you're going to be able to get the yokais from both versions into the game in that one. That Oni Evolution DLC is if you have saves of the older games, or if you have copies of the older games, sorry. The saves, however, if you have Yokai Watch 2, either version, depending on where you were last left off in your save game, it'll transfer over to this game, and it'll keep you exactly where you left off, which I thought was pretty cool. I think that's a neat feature. If Pokemon were to do, like, a version that melds the two together, I would like to see that implemented into there. I think that would be pretty dope. But yeah, I couldn't get into Yokai Watch. I played the first one probably for about an hour and a half, if that, and I don't know, I couldn't really get into it. Unicorn Astronaut, dude, thank you for the host. What is going on, everybody, from Unicorn Stream? We're just going through the Nintendo Direct from Wednesday, and we left off at Professor Layton, another game that I've not really delved into, the Layton series at all, but it's a puzzle game, it's a mystery game. I recall seeing them a lot on the DS days, for sure, along with, what's his face? Not Apollo Justice, but Phoenix Wright, the Phoenix Wright games. Those were really big on there. And then a big surprise was Minecraft coming to the 3DS. That was... It's a few years too late, but I guess better late than never. It's gonna be more Minecraft on the 3DS. Up next after that was Mario Party, the Top 100. Now, I would have loved to have been a part of this conversation somewhere in Nintendo where they went through every Mario Party game and listed off the 100 best games of Mario Party since 1999, when the first one began on the N64. That, like, Mario Parties are, like, so evil because they're too fair. Their system is too fair. It's like, if someone's getting the lead and has a whole bunch of points, coins, whatever it is, the stars, then the person with the least will somehow, hey, you did really good, let's give you 50 stars, and then all of a sudden you'll be in the lead later on, and I'm like, come on, man, like, are you kidding me right now? Like, I just busted my butt getting this high score, and now you can, come on. It is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Where's Barry asks, what is on more systems, Skyrim or Minecraft? I'm definitely gonna say Minecraft wins that one. It's pretty much everywhere at this point. So moving on, Metroid Samus Returns, of course, that's out. We've been playing it here on the channel. I am in love with this game. It is everything and more so far from what I have played, and I'm gonna stop it right here because that video, I'm gonna be here talking about this game for a little bit, but we did unbox the amiibos. The video's up on the YouTube channel. There we go. Those are the 2 amiibos right there. But the game itself really still encapsulates, like, what Metroid is. You're by yourself, you're in this environment, and everything, you don't know what to expect. The game is definitely brutal in the very beginning. It forces you to learn how to counter enemies. That the main mechanic throughout the beginning of this game is learning how to counter. It will force you to, or else you will die. Especially when it comes to fighting Metroids, you need to learn that counter system quick. There's a bajillion missiles, like, hidden items and everything. They added new things like scan pulse, the Aeon system, which still confuses me because I don't know how that's implemented into the lore. Again, maybe there was something in Prime 2 and 3 that I had missed that they're implementing into this, but or maybe they'll explain it later on down the road, because you know you still got your Chozos around that you're getting your power-ups from and everything. And no way! I don't believe it! Sorry, where's Barry with that resub? Yo, thanks Barry for the support. And he becomes stream boss. That's right. Sorry, I'm a little more ADD than usual today, and I don't know why my I muted notifications for this show. That's why. The sound-wise, that's why. Just for the audio portion of this show. But where did we leave off? The Aeon thing, yeah, I like it. I like that, you know, you got new different power-ups. It's a new implementation to the game. The map system itself, amazing, because for anyone who has played Metroid 2, there's no map system in Metroid 2, the Game Boy version. You are stuck. You are in there. You need to memorize where you are going. Either that or draw out a map of exactly retracing your steps. There's no hope. But in 2017, you can go to Google and you can look up a map as well. But that's not the point of the game. The point of the game is for you to travel and really feel like you are on your own, and that game accomplishes that. It does add a map system into there. With the amiibos, you can also like track the Metroid locations and everything like that if you choose to do so that way. And you can also like add energy reserve tanks and Aeon reserve tanks, because the Aeon has its own meter, so you have to refill that way, and you build that up a lot more if you learn the counter. So there is purpose to learning those counters other than just trying to survive. There are other perks to it. And what else is there about that I can say right now? The bosses are pretty dope. We bumped into other than, you know, the 8 to 10 Metroids that we killed yesterday, we bumped into one mini boss where we got a jump ball, which was pretty dope. I did get to play it on my 2DS XL, and game looks great. I like it on the bigger screen. It looks so good. It feels so nice. I'm digging it. Dang, I dropped a lot of bits. Sorry. I am like really like distracted today. Whew. Man, medicine kicking in, I guess. Metroid 2 is awesome, and by the end of this game, I feel like it may be up there with some of the other platformer games. You guys know Metroid Fusion, and now Zero Mission, that I have played it for the first time this year, are really up there. For me, it's like I have this fight with, like, you guys know my love of Resident Evil and how I bounce between 1 and 2, Remake and 2 as my favorite Resident Evil games, depending on the day. Metroid Fusion and Super Metroid are my top 2, and I switch them every time as to which one I like better. But Zero Mission is really up there, and it's like pushing. And now with Samus Returns, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't. I don't know. I have no idea. Phew. But that's my quick review of Metroid Samus Returns so far. We're in Area 3. Oh, that was the other thing about the map system. Forget what you know about Metroid 2. This map has been entirely stripped down and redone. They do implement similar areas. If you pay attention closely to how the platforms are laid out, you'll notice where you are in comparison to Metroid 2. Other than that, it is a brand new game. You're not going to have these maps memorized. They are much bigger. They've even like got elevator areas and elevators going down to deeper areas and everything. It's nuts. It's nuts. But I'm gonna press play on this and we're gonna keep moving on as I'm talking about some of these other games. But they went into like here's where Nintendo Directs do this like rapid fire of games, and they just go quick. And they go, here's several games from Atlas. And they just go here. All right, moving on to the other one. So the Alliance Alive is an old school RPG game. Strange Journey Redux, Radiant Historia Perfect Chronology, which is a DS port. Etrian Odyssey 5 Beyond the Myth has a demo that's available now, so I might need to check that out, because every time I see more and more of this game, I'm like, oh man, that's right up my alley. Like, I think I need to buy that and just play that for myself. And speaking of, when we were talking about Phoenix Wright, Apollo Justice Ace Attorney comes out in October, I believe. Fire Emblem Warriors 3DS also for Switch as well, which they go into a little bit more for the Switch version later on, which is funny how they're like catering more towards the Switch and not giving equal time between the two 3DS games. But hey, I'm just saying, the 3DS and the Switch, I'm just saying. And then they announced the Orange and White Edition 2DS XL that's available Orange 6th, October 6th. And that pretty much covers everything for the 3DS. And there we go. There's that. I like how they call it a new design, but it was the one that was released in Japan. And we got the blue and white one. Usually with the 3DSs, if they announce something that's like, and they keep it separate from Japan and the US, it normally doesn't come over. And in this case it did, other than with the face plates for the new 3DS and the new 3DS system coming out to the US. Everything else that's usually like an exclusive or a special edition usually stays within their region. So there's that. But before we jump into the Switch stuff, I want to jump back into the chat and see what's going on here. I don't want to make you guys feel like you've been neglected. I'm just trying to make this more of a polished podcast, and I'm trying to get through talking through the new stuff, since that is what this show is. It's more different than what we do on Nintendo Spotlight, more different than what we do with our playthroughs here. But here we go. I'm going to scroll up a little bit. L1 and Goldheart, what's going on? Where's Barry? Computer assist happened in NBA Jam all the time. What did I miss there? Oh, man. Yes, what is the new Metro? Oh, I guess I answered that one. What the hell? Why is there a glowing L1 on the page? Oh, because of the bit stream boss. Oh, gosh, there was a battle. There was a battle to the death, and Barry won by subbing to the channel. And thanks again, Barry, for subbing for resubbing. I always appreciate your support, man. Thank you for the love. Top afterwork crew leaders on the computer Twitch page, maybe not on mobile. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're talking about the yeah, if you go on the channel on the computer, it'll show you the top leaders. I added that extension in. Dang, I've dropped a lot of bits in here. 47. Dude, you're one of the, I think you're top supporter here, dude. I'm not even joking. Yeah, that's you're crazy. You are crazy. How do I find my number? I just see the top 6. I think, yeah, it only shows like the top for the month. I had it set for the month. Maybe it put back to all time. Fire Emblem. Joe, are you on your wisdom too? Yes, I am. I am, Barry. You are supposed to like sleep it off. Nope. Nope, I'm not. They mentioned no direction of sleeping. I have my directions here. All it is antibiotics, really, so that way I don't get infections on the 4 holes in my mouth. As you can see, I'm still aggravated about it. I mean, the only thing, I don't even know if I'm allowed to mention this. The only thing that's different is steroids, and I don't have any major headaches or pain or anything, because steroids is supposed to have a healing element, so like I guess that's supposed to heal the gums quicker. I have no idea. I'm just following the directions on the paper that my oral surgeon gave me. But yeah, that and some other stuff, but I'm not taking one of them because one of them's like those crazy things that like people get really addicted to on the news, and I'm like, I'm not gonna really touch that. I had one yesterday, and then it says take every 4 hours, and I'm like, that seems a little excessive. I was in pain for a little bit, and that was it. I'm like totally fine as far as pain goes. I was just afraid that like I'm gonna like rip the stitches open if I open my mouth really wide. And Sarah, you're gonna have to upgrade from your extra small. What you say, bro? I'm wearing a medium right now. No, this is a small. Oh man, luckily yeah, after a year. I'm like, what am I supposed to do with that? Oh man. But yeah, I don't want to get flagged and for talking about medicine that I'm taking, like Boogie did. So I'm gonna keep moving on here. Where's my notes again? Bam. All right, so here's another moving on. Here's another thing that Nintendo normally does with certain games, and they work with certain games, but they tend to sometimes do this with the same game a few too many times, and I get it. They're really excited to bring this game out. I'm excited to have this game, but I don't think we need to see any more Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I'm just saying. And that is, they spent first, so they jump into this Switch, and this is just a small little qualm about the way these directs are formatted. I love the directs. I love getting the messages here and getting them the same time everyone else gets them. But then they do these weird things where it's like, hey, here's this game. Here's a trailer for this game. And then we're going to show you 10 to 15 minutes of going through this game and the gameplay. And I don't know, there's only so much you can talk about with the turn-based strategy game. It looks amazing. You don't have to sell me anymore on it. I'm there. But I think the people that want the game or are interested in this game are either going to buy it or they're going to hold off. And if we can make that take that time that we're spending going through gameplay of that game and put that in a separate trailer, or if we can lessen the time on that particular game that we're spotlighting and give it some more time to some of the other games that you can kind of go into a little bit more detail into, that would be awesome. I was talking with you guys know Nintendo Guru, and I was also talking to Patrick from Nintendo Talk, and we were talking about the direct, and like that same premise of like sometimes they'll do just like random rapid fire of games, and then they'll go through this really long drawn out thing of like just going over this one particular game, and it's like, okay, cool, we get it. we're good. And I was looking at the Twitch chat on Wednesday, and everyone was just like, okay, we get it. And then and then it's getting like really aggravating, and you can start seeing the trolls come in and like putting the little sleepy emojis, and it was like, oh man, he did a magic attack. I was like, oh my god, okay, this is getting bad. I had to step out. But but along with Xenoblade Chronicles 2, along with my long description about a long description of this 5 to 10 minute sequence, is they're coming out with a special edition that's $99.99. I've only seen it on GameStop online. I've gone to 2 GameStop stores and they don't have it in their systems yet. Neither does GameStop have it in to like do it in store to like check if stores have it in stock or available for pre-order. But special editions is supposed to include a soundtrack, metal game case, and a 220 page art book. And they're also selling a Pro controller that is... Did my capture card freeze? I think it did. They're selling a Pro controller as well that's for this game specifically, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Which, I'm not gonna lie, actually looks pretty cool. You guys already know I'm pro Joy-Cons. I have all the Joy-Cons, and we're gonna get to about Joy-Cons at the end of this show. But I'm like on the fence. Like I don't know if I should get it. Like if I eventually I have one Pro controller, I'm totally fine with that. I don't think the missus is gonna use the Pro controller for anything if we do end up playing a game together. Like when we were playing Mario Kart 8 on the plane when we were going to E3 a couple months back, she had fun just playing with the Joy-Con controllers already. So if I do get it, it would be for that purpose. It does look a little bit cool. I'm not gonna lie. Don't let Nintendo Guru know that. I thumbs downed him yesterday about it. But yeah, I'm like, do I get it or not get it? I want the special edition though, and the game comes out on my birthday, so even more. That's December 1st. Splatoon 2 also got updates. Kelp Dome is was a previous stage in the first Splatoon that they're adding into this one. I'm gonna just skip around here, bam, bam. and they also have a new stage and a new weapon coming out at some point. They haven't announced when, and they also went on to let people know that, hey, we're coming out with more content to keep this game fresh, which is awesome. That's what the first Splatoon did. I like that Nintendo is really supporting the new IP. There's Kelpdome over there, and then the other new stage is Snapper Canal, where it's going to have like graded platforms. It's a 2-tier platform, and you're going to actually be able to shoot down on your enemies. So some new strategies coming into play here with this game. And the new weapon is Tentabrella, where it looks like, I feel like they're taking a note from Overwatch there a little bit, with that shield coming out really wide. I feel like I've seen that in Overwatch. I'm not hating. I just think that's pretty cool. It's interesting that they're like continuously adding just like bits of content to change up the game a little bit more. After that, and we'll get the scene here shortly, but Fire Emblem Warriors, October 20th, you guys already know I'm hyped for this, announced a new character, Lyn. Well, not a new character, but a Fire Emblem character in Lyn from Fire Emblem, the Game Boy Advance one, first one that I played. I have an affinity towards Lyn. You guys know this. Aside from Camilla, Lyn was first waifu. I'm just saying. And there we go. There she is. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my goodness. She is going in. And that's one of her moves in the game, which is awesome that they put that in there. That is dope. Oh my goodness. Chrome and Tiki amiibos will also release the same day, October 20th. And then, whew, we got a couple more games, guys. We're going through. We're going rapid fire right now. Snipper Clips got announced November 10th. Snipper Clips Plus, sorry, was announced, and 30 new stages. You got a toy box world and a comic book world, and what's cool is you're able to go back and play some of the other, like play back the original stages from the game and remix them to get your different shapes other than just your standard shape. So it's a bit more of a challenge. I know that sounds silly, but it is actually very challenging. Like, look at that. You got a tree and a star, you got a trapezoid and a bulb there. So like trying to figure out certain stages as these new shapes is pretty interesting. But you're gonna get a new set of stages, and for those of you who own the original Snipper Clips, you're actually able to buy the expansion as a separate DLC. Otherwise, it's going to be a full game as well that's going to have everything included in it. So think of it as like a definitive edition. Then they go back into Morphe's Law, which we already know about. I'm interested in the game. They didn't tell us a release date or anything like that. It's the game where it's a team-based game, and it's 4v4. And the whole purpose of it is like you shoot a character and you take away their body part, you get bigger. Ultimately, the team who has the more body mass will win. So it's all based on, like, you know, you can have like what we're seeing here. The dude's been shot so many times on the body, or he shot so many times on people's legs that he has bigger legs. It's really weird, really wonky, but it's apparently coming first to Nintendo Switch, so that's pretty cool. Up next, they talked about Rocket League and some of the exclusives there. You're going to get a Samus gunship. You're going to get a Mario and a Luigi also skin as well. But you have to unlock them first in order to use them. So they're not going to be available straight out the bat, which, hey, that's cool. At least they are in the game, and you got to work for those. You're not just going to be able to get them right off the bat. And I believe the Mario is if you choose Team Orange, and the Luigi skin is if you pick Team Blue. The Samus gunship, they didn't say if it's like team agnostic or anything, but they did mention specifically about the Mario and Luigi ones. Hui. And then I thought this next one was really interesting. There's a MOBA game coming out to the Switch, which apparently I've heard this might be a mobile game as well. If someone wants to confirm that, Arena of Valor. There's going to be a beta version in the winter. It's different classes that you can pick and battle around. I don't know if I'm going to try it. You guys want to see me try it? I will when the beta comes out. It says this winter. It looks like I don't know. You guys might be able to tell the difference more than I do. If for anyone out there that plays MOBAs, if this is any different than like your LOLs or your or your not a World of Warcraft, but League of Legends, your Dotas and whatnot. Like it looks like any of those. I don't know. I'm not gonna pretend to know. And then here's where like things came out of left field. Bethesda comes up. They show off Skyrim. We've already seen everything beyond the moon of what Skyrim has to offer. It's been on other consoles as well. It's great that it's coming to the Switch. You're going to be able to use your Link amiibo, your Breath of the Wild Link amiibo, to get some custom stuff in there. However, Doom and Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus, are going to be coming out to the Switch, which that came out of left field. I really like the fact that Bethesda is embracing the Switch. They were one of like the first big third-party developers to kind of go in and say, hey, we're going to support this. Of course, you had your indies showing up to the Switch right off the bat. Capcom eventually jumped on board with Super Street Fighter, but they're still being very hesitant, and they're giving us really some of the older stuff, and not, with Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2. But Bethesda's really embracing, and the fact they're bringing a new game to the Switch in Wolfenstein 2, granted, it's going to come out in 2018. It'll probably come out... my guess is if they're announcing it now, maybe it's close to being finished, and it'll come out sometime in the spring, maybe, or maybe it'll be a summer game. I don't see this re-release being any later than that, because any later than that, then it's going to be the same situation that Nintendo seems to have found itself in these last couple of generations, where, yeah, you're going to get this really neat port, but it's not going to come out for another year. So I give it 6 months tops that Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus, comes out, which makes me wonder if it's going to include the first one, or if they're just secretly going to go, hey, yeah, here you go, first one's out too, boom. I don't know if it's going to run at a full 60 or full 30. There's games that are out on the Switch, and before this goes any further on the thing, I'm gonna pause that right there. But as far as like how smooth these games are going to be running, I've run into some of the issues in handheld mode where like games like Xenoverse and Knights of Azure don't run as smooth based on how many characters come on screen. So I don't know if Bethesda has found a way to fix that. If they did, great. Maybe that's something that could be shared with other devs out there, because it is thoroughly annoying where a game chugs under 30 just because there's an extra character or an extra enemy on screen, and you're like, okay, I did my combo combination, however, that one Cyberman came onto screen, and now I'm like, now I've got to re-input my combo because it like hiccuped and didn't respond to that extra X button that I used to make the combo. So yeah, that very much bothers me. It is noticeable. And then moving on, yes, Flip Wars, which I'd be curious to know if anybody who owns a Switch out there has played Flip Wars. I picked it up when it had first came out on the Japanese eShop back in like April, May, and it was very bare bones. The online was there, but nobody was playing it. Like, I jumped in a couple weeks ago on a last update, and I still had trouble getting into a battle with people online. So I don't know who's playing this game. And I'm not being mean about that. I'm curious to know. Class matches and local wireless play. And then here is something that is really interesting. Nintendo announced Arcade Archives, which Mario Brothers is the first of this Arcade Archives edition to be coming out September 27th. They also announced versus Super Mario Brothers versus Balloon Fight, Pinball, Clue Land, Punch-Out, and Ice Climbers among the games that they want to bring out as part of this Arcade Archives. And now my thing about this whole Arcade Archives thing is, I wonder if people have been talking about like this NES Netflix type thing. I don't know where these rumors have spurred from. It would be a cool idea if they did something like a Netflix, is what people are dubbing it. But it's blowing. It's like, I wonder if this is where they're gonna go with the virtual console itself eventually. Like, we're still supposed to be getting games, certain games once a month, or a couple of games once a month through the Nintendo Online program, that we're supposed to be able to keep now, I believe. I can't even remember where their stance was at this point. I'd have to go back and check. But aside from that, this Arcade Archives thing is interesting because it's pulling games that have never been released onto consoles, like the legit arcade versions of these games. They're taking a note from Neo Geo basically and trying to bring out their arcade versions of these games. I mean, I remember Super Mario Brothers arcade for sure, and original Mario Brothers was way before my time, but I remember seeing Super Mario Brothers arcade cabinets growing up. It's like, okay, is this what they're going to be treating their collections as going forward, or are they going to like bring things together and bring them in like set collections to the eShop? It's really interesting that they are bringing it out this way, which is which I don't no idea. I'm a little torn if I'm gonna have to buy the games again. And I know we're in a market where, you know, something gets posted up on the internet for a certain price, and if it's too high, they want to know if people are gonna buy it. Like, I'm talking to Amazon specifically, and it seems like, you know, Nintendo's been always been about re-releasing things onto their consoles, but people having to buy them again. I would love to see ideally, I would love to see if I had purchased, you know, something on my 3DS that's available as a virtual console game on another console, I'd be able to just download it and be perfectly fine. You know, not have to pay for it again. But the fact of the matter is, it is a business model and they need to make money. I would not be surprised if we go from arcade archives to like an NES archives or SNES archives down the road. I don't think anytime soon. Again, I think that Nintendo Online program has got to come out first and see how they're going to treat the video games portion of that before anything else gets announced. But it is interesting that they are starting to embrace the arcade, older games in some sort of a virtual not saying that it's virtual console, but a virtual console like concept in the arcade archives. Up next was Ballad of Champions amiibos finally getting a release date along. Actually, did they announce? I think it's just Breath of the Wild amiibos being announced. Oh, crappies. They didn't announce the Ballad of Champions, but yeah, amiibos are coming out November 10th. I want to say that's probably going to be the date the game comes out, right? The DLC comes out, right? Am I wrong in guessing that? That would be amazing if that would be the case. Yeah, that's all they did. They just announced the amiibos. Wow. Okay. Ballad of Champions. I mean, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. There's so many games coming out this year for the rest of this year. I'm okay if this gets pushed. I know they were really trying hard for holiday 2017. So the fact that they didn't announce anything, oof, that's also really close to Mario Odyssey's release. I don't know. I'm so torn. Ugh, I want it, but at the same time, I'm like, wait, postpone it, Nintendo. Don't give it to me so soon. Don't give it to me so soon. And I'm just gonna take a moment to shout out that follower that we just got. My apologies that the sound didn't play. This is normally our podcast show called That Nintendo Show. Fool of a Took 2 has followed. Made Samus do a moonwalk like no one Space Mountain could. Thank you for the follow and welcome to the Afterwork crew. Whew, sorry about that. Slipped up there. But we were just talking about Ballad of Champions amiibos, and as you saw on that scene, but for those listening to the audio format version, those amiibos are the champions, Daruk, Rivali, Mifa, and I forget the Gerudo's name. I forgot her name, sorry. Urbosa, jeez. But you're going to be able to summon materials and weapons just like any other amiibo. However, you get a chance to get a drop for an ancient armor. Each champion has an ancient armor helm that's going to be in the shape of one of the divine oh gosh, the divine beasts. I almost said the divine gods, the divine beasts. But yes, they're apparently going to have a specific thing that each one does, but they said that they'll announce that at a later time, so it'd be interesting to know what they do. Now next is another flurry of sports games that Nintendo just went boom 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 boom, and one fighting game in the midst of that, but NBA 2K18, WWE 2K18, FIFA 18, and then Pokken Tournament DX. 2K8 NBA is out, came out a couple days ago, and Pokken Tournament's coming out next week as well, along with Gold and Silver digital versions on the 3DS. So that was that fleur. And then our next big thing was Project Octopath. Now, Octopath Traveler. Now, we played that on the channel. We did both Primrose and Olberic's stories. I am in love with that demo. I thoroughly enjoyed it. What you guys didn't see after we finished Primrose's playthrough was you actually can go to the town that Olberic is in. I think it's called Cobblestone or something like that. And that's the town that you can then play Olberic's story from, which I was like, whoa, wait, what? Okay, there's potential that there might be character crossovers, and that would be awesome if that's the case. There's 8 travelers, 8 different stories. They're bound to bump into each other, and what's really dope is it is a mix of like Final Fantasy VI meets, or just older Final Fantasy in general from the SNES era and NES era, meeting Bravely Default. It is by the team that worked on Bravely Default series from Square Enix. So that's even more awesome. It has that system in there. The new thing that's implemented in there is like a break system. So in order to break down, each enemy has like a set amount of shield to break down in. So like, let's say it takes 6 hits of their weakness. You got to find their weakness. Each enemy has a weakness. And then after you get to the 6th hit, their shield breaks and they have break. They get dizzy. They miss their turn. So that way you can inflict even more damage on the character. My thing with the demo was it didn't explain that well. When I played Primrose, I played her first. I was like, oh, okay, I kind of understand this. Okay, this is pretty straightforward. And then I'm like dying at the final boss several times, and I'm realizing like, oh, okay, the weakness is then it starts clicking. The gears start churning as to like what what's happening there. Overall, I've enjoyed that experience. The Nintendo started sending out surveys, so if you downloaded the game and you played it, you should be getting that survey soon in your email. If you have you have to have a Nintendo account in order to download the game. So yeah, you probably got that survey in your email. And what's funny is they ask you in the survey if you've played Bravely Default. So that's another hint that like, hey, this is the team that's working on this game, and I'm really excited. This is an ambitious title. The way the layout of the game and the way it looks as well, where you go from like 2D to 3D and moving around in different environments is really cool as well. Those little neat things. Outside the battle mechanics, each character has their own ability. So Primrose has an ability to allure people to actually fight with her. So she's basically like, she's a dancer, and like her story is very twisted. I don't want to spoil it. I would suggest downloading the game, play it, or if you don't have a Switch, watch the playthrough. I'll have it up on Nintendo Spotlight shortly over the weekend. I should have it up by, I'll try to get that to be the first Nintendo Spotlight on Sunday. I did Olberic's. I did do a no mic with Primrose, but I don't know if I'll post that up or if I'll just do it again and play full on as Primrose. She had way more dialogue than Olberic. You get into the catacombs with her, and then you can start grinding it out there. Olberic, you just like right into it, hacking and slashing and battling after like short dialogue. Oh man. And I will jump back into chat in just a moment here. We're just finishing up a couple of more things from this Nintendo Spotlight. I want to make it to these last little things, and then I'll jump into the chat. But ARMS got an update version 3, it's going to have a new stage and a new character in Lollipop, which she's a clown character. She's got a move called the Fun Chucks. Say that 3 times fast. But let's see if I can just get her to play in the background here while this is happening. Yeah, there we go. And then just speeding along here, you have that. Oh yeah, she has another move called another weapon arm called the Clapback, and another part of that update is remapping controls, which I feel like that should have just been something put into the game at the beginning. But it's cool that they're listening and they have that out. Excuse me, and that they have that out now. Dragon Quest Builders. That game, I was like, it's like Minecraft but for Dragon Quest, and it has a story built into it, and the town that it takes place in is apparently where the first Dragon Quest takes place. I'm not too familiar with the Dragon Quest series, but I think that's a cool throwback to that and rebuilding that kingdom or that town, I guess. They showed more Kirby Switch stuff, and there's a super buff King Dedede. I have no idea why he's so jacked, but someone injected him with steroids, and he's like freaking Arnold Schwarzenegger up in there. That's supposed to be coming out spring 2018, and one of the features that they showed off real quick was you throw hearts, and you can throw those hearts to have those enemies then turn into allies, sort of like what Primrose does in Octopath Traveler, which I thought was pretty cool. And then Nintendo did another thing where they were just like, here's another set of games that are coming out soon. Steam World Dig 2 comes out next week, the 21st. Golf Story, 9 Parchments, Battle Chef Brigade, things that we saw during Nindy's showcase. Tiny Metal, which kind of seems like it's going to be an Advance Wars type game. Super Meat Boy Forever, Lost Sphere, Sonic Forces, Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2, and LA Noire, which is going to have its Switch functions. Now, before we jump into the last topic of the Nintendo Spotlight, Nintendo Direct that we had, which was Mario Odyssey, I want to jump back into the chat, see what's going on with you guys, and here we go. Let's see, where did I leave off last? Bits are hard to do in my case. Oh, dude, it's all good. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, Gold. You're gonna have to upgrade from your extra small. Buff Joe incoming. Draco. Luckily, prescription runs out. Oh, man. Oh, talking about my wisdom teeth stuff. O'Malley, what's going on, dude? How you dare have a Nintendo show without me? How dare you, sir? Yo, I announce it everywhere. Where you at, bro? Where you at? Oh, man. All right, wait. Yeah, it's more of a I try to make it more of a polished podcast, so I jump in, I pick out specific points where I try to jump into the chat and catch up with you guys. That's more what that Nintendo show is. Did you just pronounce it Dedede? Yeah. DDD, Dedede. DDD, not Dedede. It's one E. I think it's debatable. That's another one that's like confusing, because I used to say King Dedede, and even in like even in the song for Kirby Right Back at Ya, they do they say DDD because they rhyme it with oh gosh, with the main baddies, NME, and then something King DDD. But then you have everyone else in the world that says Dedede. I'm like, all right, what is it? What is it? So I don't care anymore. It's well done, makes you stand out for sure. Oh, why, thank you, Magio. Silence. This is not up for debate. Well, you know what? You made a debate, sir. I'm gonna say Dedede. Steroids mentioned twice in one stream. Yo, I know, right? All right, now that this video is caught up, let us continue onward, and we are going to jump into nothing, because we're still in the pipeline, right? We're still in that pipeline? I think so. Yoshiaki Kaizumi, hit me with that Mario Odyssey. Mario Odyssey, they go through the story, and they explain that Bowser has captured Cappy's sister named Tiara. Okay, yeah. I'm done. It's another person being captured by Bowser. I've had this conversation numerous times. You've heard this on the stream. Bowser finally trying to marry Peach. You see the tiara up on Peach's head there. I don't know. I'm still thinking Peach just wants to marry Bowser. I don't think there's any ill intentions to Bowser trying to take away Peach from the Mushroom Kingdom. Take away Peach from Mario. I think Peach wants to marry Bowser. That's all I'm gonna say. But anyway, I digress. They showed off like a bunch of different worlds here. Worlds that we've seen in other directs and other Treehouse live events. And then they showed off 2 new worlds. Shiveria is the name of the place in the Snow Kingdom, and then Bublane in the Seaside Kingdom. Then they go, but we don't want to spoil them all, and then continue to spoil them all. And they show off a tropical island, but they don't name the kingdom, and they show off the enemies in it. I'm like, Nintendo, what are you doing? We want to buy this game already. Like, stop teasing us with this stuff. Please. How many worlds are going to be in this game if, like, this isn't it? If this isn't all of them, then this game is going to be huge. It's going to be crazy. It's like, apparently, I don't know if this is accurate, but supposedly there's supposed to be like 600... Oh gosh, fireworks going off right now? Yep, fireworks going off. Sorry if there's any background noise, but apparently there's supposed to be like 600 total moons that you're supposed to be able to collect throughout the entire game. You need the moons in order to advance into get the Odyssey, which is your giant hat, that the hat house that's going to travel you from kingdom to kingdom, all around. You need the moons to then power up the Odyssey in order to get it to travel to the next location. So that's a lot of freaking moons. Or not just travel, but unlock the next location, the next world. But it makes me wonder if they're going to announce a season pass at some point after the game is released or close to release, because they're adding tons. And this would be a first for Mario. I mean, it was a first for Zelda with the season pass, but I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo does end up announcing something at the last minute, like, hey, there's going to be a season pass at some point. Here's like a cool little thing if you guys end up getting it. But I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't. I'm starting to wonder now, like, what's happening here, what's going on. But then they introduced new characters, and one of them's like Talkatoo, and Uncle Amiibo, which I guess if you pop an Amiibo on your Switch, is I'm assuming how it's gonna work. They haven't said anything. And I'm really happy you're able to capture Lackey 2. There's Talkatoo. He's a talking parrot with a hat, so you can't capture him. But they're going to be able to help you find moon locations and whatnot. And, of course, your Toad there as well, or one of your many Toads. Snapshot mode is another thing that they've implemented into here. So instead of pressing the screenshot button, there's an actual snapshot in the game where you can take a picture and then move around the image. So that way you can pick out what angle you want to save it in, and you can change filters and all that cool stuff, which is it's neat. I can see that being like a nice little neat wallpaper you could put on your computer, or you can even change it so that way it's in portrait mode for your phone as a wallpaper too. It's nice. It's nice. I'm not gonna be mean about it. But the game comes out October 22nd, and so do the 3 wedding amiibos. The Mario Wedding Amiibo gives you temporary invincibility. Peach's Wedding Amiibo receives a life apart. And Bowser's Wedding Amiibo gives you a divorce paper. Sorry, no, that's inaccurate. That's inaccurate. It reveals regional coin locations. So each kingdom has its own specific coins. As you can see right there, you got your coins, and then you have the regional coins of that kingdom, is what the Bowser Amiibo will discover for you. And of course, what's Mario Odyssey without a special edition bundle? Nintendo also announced in this direct that you're going to be able to buy this game as a special bundle edition with the Switch. So it'll be the game, the Switch, that has no cosmetic features whatsoever about it, and Joy-Cons in the color of Mario's suit. They're a dark red. I want those Joy-Cons. And I told you we were going to talk about Joy-Cons at the end of the show, and that's what I was talking about. They have dark red Joy-Cons. I want them. That's the red that I want on my Switch. And a carrying case, which is pretty cool. So far, they haven't announced that the game, that the Joy-Con and the Switch and the carrying case are going to be sold separately. It's only in this special edition at the moment. I really hope that they do sell these separately because I don't want to have to buy a Switch just to get these things. Ugh. So angry. So angry. My goodness. But, oh, looks like capture card froze up again. Caught it at the right time. I see you. I see you. Okay. And we're getting close to the end of this direct here, but I want to show you guys that special edition and what they look like. That release date again. Here's the amiibos. I have mine all on pre-order. I think I have them through Best Buy. I can't remember. And there's the functionalities like we were showing before. And man, there was a lot of talking, and wow, world record. We're just over an hour. A lot of content, though. A lot of content. There we go. And there's your Joy-Con and your carrying case right there. Boom. And that ends the Nintendo Direct segment of this show. And now, before we get into the eShop, I want to jump into the chat again, see what I missed here. And I love that so much. So what at point... Oh, love the show so much, the Kirby show, going back. So at what point do we discuss Mario has nipples? Mario's a human! Mario's a human. My goodness. He's supposed to have nipples, no? Why was this even a news topic? I don't understand. I still don't understand why that was even a news topic. No, I'm not going to talk about it. He has nipples. He's a human. The end. To be fair, it was Direct Week. Yeah, so a lot of news. That's why I was like rapid fire. Like I was trying to get through all that stuff. So I do apologize that I didn't jump into the chat more so than I normally do on these shows. But last thing before we get out of the pipeline was, this is courtesy of Zomber. You guys know him. He's a friend of the Afterwork crew, also a streamer as well. He sent this. He hit me up on Discord with this, and he showed me. He was like, "Yo, you down?" He sent me this link, and I'm like, "Wait, what? What is this madness? You're lying to me." Someone did a fan-made Mario 64 online, and you can play up to 24 players. So that's like, you could do like 24 Waluigis. I'm assuming in this. I thought that this was pretty cool. You can play with other people online on this game. I don't know if it's been shut down. I wanted to download it just so I have it in the back burner if I ever jump in and get to play with him, because I feel bad. Like, they play all these awesome games. Him, Zero, Deadeye, they all play these games together. Sonic Master. Like, I'm like, oh man, I want to jump in with you guys, but my time is so limited. And of course, I just got clicked on a Mario Rabbids ad by accident. Sorry, guys. But I thought that was pretty cool. This was from Nintendo Life. So again, as you guys know, links are always in the descriptions of the YouTube videos and in the descriptions of all these podcasts that I normally do. But let's get out of the pipeline and
here we go
to the eShop drop, guys. We check out the eShop Thursdays here on Twitch. You can see me live doing Nintendo Spotlight. It's our show, our weekly show, where we go through, we spotlight a number of games that are in the eShop for that week. If they interest me, I buy them, I pick them up, we play them, we give a shout out, we give a spotlight to the devs that work hard on these games, and ultimately decide whether or not the game is worth the asking price and enjoying the game, hopefully. Those are on Thursdays, and then I break them out to episodically over on YouTube as well. So if you miss anything from the streams, they're always broken up, edited down for your viewing pleasure. And right now, we've got a few games this week on the Switch, and a Wii U release as well. So 36 Fragments of Midnight, $2.99. It's a puzzle game. It's from Radalaika Games and Petite Games. So it's a puzzle platformer game, which seems seems interesting. I did pick it up, and I wanted to do a Nintendo Spotlight on it. It's only $2.99 also, so I was like, okay, yeah, let's try this out. Radalaika Games also published another game, I and Me, and we played a game last week as well from them that they published too. So Radalaika Games getting a lot of stuff on the Switch. Kingdom New Lands also came out on Switch for $14.99. This one was really dope, from Noio, published by Raw Fury. So this was really cool. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would, and it's like tower defense meets I don't know if there's like, I don't know, I haven't died in the game, but I'm assuming if you die you have to start over from the beginning, like a roguelite type, but I could be wrong. I don't see any mentions of roguelite on here, but it's a very it's pixel art. You're a king, you're building up your kingdom, you have to collect coins, you have to collect currency in order to build up you know, your house, your main area, your entire fencing, your armor, your stations for your archers. You have to recruit people that are just out in the wilderness on their own, that are poor, and recruit them in and give them, and then they go and pick what class they're going to be. So if you have, you know, enough axes, enough hammers to get some builders, but not enough archers, then they'll gravitate towards becoming a builder class. That way you have enough people to start building up your whatever it is you end up upgrading throughout the entire space, which is really dope. It's like, it's a really unique castle defense game. The game spans, like, you get the Roman numeral numbers at the end of each night to let you know how many days have passed by. So I made it to day 7. I had one blood moon randomly, but I didn't see anything crazy happen, so I don't know if, like, animals are supposed to go rabid on you or anything, but I did randomly get this, like, these two little, oh my gosh, these Jawa looking things from Star Wars attacking our fence, and then the archers were trying to, like, kill them off, and I screamed on stream because I got legit scared from they just randomly popped out of nowhere. They're really fast, they're trying to knock down your thing, so it is really important to build up not just your archers, but to have enough builders to build that up. Then you have farmers that are going to be able to create some other things, so there's the sickle, and they're going to, like, farm out for you. It's really intuitive. This is one of those games that I would recommend picking up on Switch if you haven't picked it up somewhere else and you own a Switch. NBA 2K18 Sports, $59.99. Oh, whoops, Wadio, what are you doing up in here? Resource unavailable. I don't know what game that was supposed to be, but Semispheres is also out on Nintendo Switch for $9.99. This was out on the PS4. Vivid Helix self-published this game to the Switch. I know East Asia Soft published it over to the PS4, but it's kind of cool that they were able, I guess they were able to make enough money to kind of do their own self-publishing here, which I thought was pretty cool as well. But it's a puzzle game that actually requires you, it's a twin stick puzzle game, so requires you to focus on both the left and the right, and you have to eventually work together to get one or the other character through its puzzle by, like, tricking. There's, like, these little open these power-ups that you can get on one side, and every item that's available on one screen is meant to be used, so it's like not one power-up is gone unused throughout the whole thing. Everything serves its purpose, which is really cool, and I think is really unique to this game. But you can, like, open up these holes and enter in to the other person's dimension as that person, make a sound to distract the thing that's blocking the way to get your other character all the way past through to complete their puzzle, and then you can go on to complete their puzzle. But then sometimes you have to help each other out and try to distract enemies on both ends before both of you are able to complete your puzzle, and then it becomes one. And there's, like, a weird story in there as well, where, like, there's a kid and he gets a robot, and I feel like it's one of those games that's going to tell this amazing story that's just going to get me really upset at the end and make me cry or something, so I'm afraid to go on. But I did enjoy this game. I wish I had played it on the PS4 when I had gotten the review copy. I apologize, East Asia Soft, again, but hope this made up for it in playing it on Nintendo Spotlight Semi-Spheres for Nintendo Switch. Another game that came out that was combating against Metroid Samus Returns on 3DS was a Switch game called Robonauts, which has a launch special. Blah, blah, blah. Joe's starting to not be able to talk right now. Robonauts for $13.49. I haven't gotten to play this game yet, but I do want to do a Nintendo Spotlight on this. Special introductory price until $9.29. Jump between planets, fight weird creatures, and save the galaxy alone or with a friend. The action combines familiar arcade shooting gameplay with a unique possibility to switch gravity. Colorful graphics appeal to both younger and adults players, while first-class music by Simon Viklund makes the adventure feel more epic. Okay, that sort of didn't describe the game at all, but Qubit Games, all right. Now, this is the Wii U title that I was talking about, Earthlock Festival of Magic for $9.99. Looks like it's a turn-based RPG game. I could be terribly wrong about it, but we're still getting Wii U games every now and again. They happen. They do happen. And this is brought to us by Snow Castle Games. Percy's Predicament Deluxe, Nintendo 3DS for $5.99. Bad week to be releasing games when Samus Returns comes out. Percy's Predicament Deluxe is a casual title for all to enjoy exclusively on Nintendo 3DS, and I'm going to stop reading this right now. And of course, as I mentioned, Metroid Samus Returns for $39.99. I gave you guys my quick review earlier. Amazing, amazing game. If you've not ever played a Metroid game before, this is one I would recommend picking up. Especially if you have a 3DS. And that is going to cover the eShop drop.
So long, Bowser!
Bam! And I'm going to jump into the chat one last time before we go. And we'll jump into some Metroid Samus Returns for the rest of tonight. It's going to be exciting. But plumbers have nipples and cracks. This is true, L1. Play it while you can long before Nintendo takes it down. I wouldn't be surprised if it's already taken down. I might have missed my opportunity. You know, if the chat was in a more easy C spot, you can actually talk during... Oh, it's in an easy spot. I can read it. It's just that there's so much news that... and I try to make this show also a podcast. So it's more of like me trying to get the information out to you guys. Of course, if you guys do have any questions or anything, if you go to joafterwork.com/TNSQ, you can drop a question there and I can read it on chat on the stream live. That makes it a lot easier to filter out questions for the show as well. Oh yeah. And there could be more interaction, but you aren't reading this right after I post it, so it'll take you a bit to realize. Yeah, and it's also easier to read like the bite-sized versions as well. I usually end up, how I formulate the show to give you guys kind of like the behind the curtains is I have my pipeline news, which is the stuff that I want to get through. And normally, if it's topic, as I go through each topic, I'll always jump back into the chat based on each topic to see what people are saying. And if there isn't anything really in relation to the show, then I try to move on to kind of get into something else that someone might be interested in. And so that way, when I jump back into the chat, hopefully they're talking about what that topic was. And maybe that's something that gets them interested in the conversation. It's funny because YouTubers will read this before you do, even after it's up. So what? Now I just feel like I'm being insulted. And then they will notice my oh. Nothing was said, Joe, totally. That sound effect. Here we go. So long, Bouncy. Alrighty, cool. So guys, that's gonna wrap it up for that Nintendo show. This is the September 16th edition, Saturday edition of this show. Normally we're here Fridays, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time here on twitch.tv/JoAfterWork, and we will resume that schedule next Friday. Of course, you know, I had my teeth pulled out. So you guys will get this a day late on SoundCloud and iTunes and on YouTube as well. I do apologize about that, but we'll return to our normal format. I wanted to keep consistency with keeping this a weekly show. So, guys, if you enjoyed what you saw here, give it a like, share with your friends, let them know what I do here. Play video games after work. We talk about video games after work. We have a whole playthrough series of stuff going on. This fall has been insane already. We're in the last world of Mario plus Rabbids. We're in area 3 of Samus Returns already. I've been posting up the full live streams of these episodes as a test to see if you guys just want the full live streams to go up immediately after I finish the streams over to YouTube, and then I give you guys the breakouts afterwards, so that way you get a little bit of both worlds. My problem right now with the live streams is, for some reason, my audio, I cannot for the life of me figure out the proper delay that I need to get my audio sunk up with the video, my Logitech camera. It's just an ongoing problem which continuously happens, and I do apologize about that. I want to narrow this down so that way when we do these live streams, this is actually not a problem. And hopefully, I'm sure now that I've pointed it out, now everybody is noticing that, but hey, we're gonna get it to work at some point. I'm gonna get this audio delay issue down. Just don't know what is happening. But with that said, guys, I'll see you either in a playthrough or in the next episode of That Nintendo Show. Take care. Love y'all.